Alright. Let me make sure it has the right name going on. Should have the right name. Yep. Yep. Alright. Hold on, guys. We're going to get started on this podcast soon. I'm just trying to make sure that. Yep. Uh, Alright. Alright. Everybody ready? Noah, you ready? Is Noah even there?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, guys. Welcome to a live stream. We're going to be talking about. Basically, we'll be talking about the virus. Really can't. I'm not trying to say the word too much, but you already know what we're basically talking about. I put it in the description, so that way you know what exactly we're talking about. So, what we're gonna start with is basically what's been going on with the virus, what's happened so far, and yeah, I have Noah and I have Novin with me today. These are some of the main guys that are gonna be in the podcast every single week. So every single week we're gonna have a different topic. There's not gonna be a set date on when the podcast is gonna be up every single day, but every single week, I mean. But it's gonna randomly pop up, and so hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell. So yeah, what basically we're gonna be talking about the virus. So what's been going on so far is where it originally started is in China. Uh, with all this stuff, if you want to get into it, Novin, I think you know. Yeah, 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 yep, yeah, yeah, yeah. True. Yeah, yeah, Yeah. True. Yep. True. Yeah. Damn. Oh, so, yeah. True. Dude, man. That is true. Yeah. True. Yeah, I mean, like from what I've seen, it's been getting a lot worse. I mean, I think in general, I think Texas has been one of the. It is a big. It is one of the states where, like, you have a few states within inside Texas that have not done anything in a sense. Like, a few cities, I mean, within Texas, not states. What am I talking about? Like, a few cities that kind of waited until last minute to like, stop anything from spreading, or trying to tell their people to stay inside, or stuff like that. Like, and San Antonio, which is where we're from, is one of the main cities. Is just like been on it since day one, and there's a lot of states, that need help that haven't been getting help, with this whole stuff, which is like New York, is one of the biggest ones and one of the main ones that like, um, you know, where they're asking for stuff that they need or whatever, and nobody's giving it to them. Not even not until like just recently when the naval ship for what their doctors showed up and nurses, to help out with the regular patients, not the COVID-19 patients. So I mean, at least they're getting something, but it's still like it's still a big thing. You know what I mean? Everything that's like with everybody being in a panic, everybody being you know trying to do whatever they can to stop it from spreading. I mean, it's kind of hard because, we had everybody at the beginning, not messing around with it. Now that it's so big, people are really, really suffering from it, and now understanding, okay, we need to basically stay at home and not, going out to parties and stuff like this, which a lot of people were doing. And, I mean, it's just crazy to see how, like, our government itself, and I think a lot of governments out there weren't prepared for something like this. You know, we were always prepared. We were all preparing for like a war. We weren't preparing for like a war. You know what I mean? Like an enemy that we can't see. You know what I mean? And that's something that like nobody was prepared for. You know, and that's kind of that was the scarier part, was trying to figure out. You know, trying, you know, noticing, man, none of us were ready for this. Not even our own governments were ready for this. And I mean, it's just crazy. You know what I mean? So, and I see that it's gonna get a little bit. You know, I hope that it doesn't get worse, but I feel like it's gonna get a little bit, you know, worser than it is. You know, um, and that's something that's just like, wow, dude. You know, it's gonna be something where like if we can't stop, you know what I mean? Like our governments can't you know, stop what they're, you know, trying to, you know, fix or whatever. It's most likely gonna get a little bit worse before it gets a whole lot better, you know? Um and you know, I've seen some of the news articles, you know, I've read some of the news articles, seen some of them, you know, seen the news when I, you know, because I live with my grandparents, so I'm trying not to risk them getting, you know, not trying to risk myself getting infected without trying to risk them, you know. And that's one of the main things, is just staying, me personally, when everything started after, you know, my job, which, you know, where I worked at was JC Penney's, that's, you know, recently just closed right now during this whole stuff, which is a good thing. I just been staying at home, haven't really been going out, only going out when it's necessary. And you know what they've told us from the beginning is, you know, not to touch your face, not to have, you know, interactions with too many people, not to touch other people, you know, not to hug too many, you know what I mean? Basically, like to fist bump, or, you know, or even then not even do that too much, you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy where it's been going, you know? So, I mean, it's one of those things where like it's affected a lot of our communities, you know, kind of slowed them down and made them, you know, really start getting prepared for what's going on, you know. um yeah, 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 True. True. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Yep. Yep. Yeah. True. I get you, man. That's crazy, man. True. Okay, now that was a little bit crazy when I heard about it. I was just like, what? How is that possible? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I get you, dude. I get you. Yeah, because I mean, was hearing that a lot of prices for stuff that we were actually like the American people were buying, right now during this whole stuff is supposedly going up, and I'm just like, yeah, yep, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like it's crazy that like how this virus started though in the first place. Like um, it was just an experiment that gone wrong. You know what I mean? That kind of just like led to all this. With everything like that happened, and the main people that it's targeting, it's not too many young people, but you can get it, and be affected by it because of your immune system. If you don't have a very good immune system, you know, that's the main thing. It's also older people are one of the main people that are getting targeted by this. So if you live with if you live with somebody older, like just stay at home for them, for the sake of them, and try to basically be there. You know what I mean? As much as you can, so that way, nothing happens to them and nothing happens to you. You know what I mean? Um, so I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's crazy though because like I think everybody's known about the game. There's a certain game out there, called Division. And what's weird about it is that game has also like basically it's based around a virus also, and how crazy that we didn't think that it was from day one. Like we were just like maybe in the back of my mind I was like, you know what, hopefully nothing like this happens, but I have a feeling like something like that would happen. You know what I mean? And when it did, it was just fucking crazy. It was just very crazy and just out of the blue. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, it was the thing that mainly like, was just weird is like how, so many people since the day, it happened was just being ignorant and not like, trying to take care of themselves, not trying to, how so many people were just like, just let the old people, die and we'll try. You know what I mean? Like just so we can have fun. And I'm just like, no, that's not, what it's supposed to be about. Like you're supposed to be able to take care of yourself while also trying to take care of other people. Like it was just kind of weird how a lot of uh Democrats and Republicans themselves, it was mainly what's happened with our governor for Texas. He said in an interview to just, you know, let's just. It's not. I'm not going to try to slander anybody, but from what we all had heard or seen was just, he wasn't really caring about what had happened, what is happening to older people or whatever, even though he's older himself. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, that was crazy. Like my grandparents even saw it, and like how, and this was at the beginning of, like possibly like a couple weeks ago, I think, where, my grandparents were just like, man, like, he didn't even reference anything about it, even his like, people didn't even try to like, you know, sugarcoat it or whatever. It was just crazy about how so many people, now that it's just becoming such a big thing, that now they're just like, oh yeah, we should have done something from the start. um the other thing is that a lot of people now with this whole thing, it's a lot of people are out of work, and that's very, very crazy and scary because nobody has a job, nobody can work, everybody has to trying to collect unemployment if you can. And I mean, it's just a crazy situation, you know what I mean? Because everybody has stuff that they're paying for, trying to take care of their own families, and since they can't work now because of all of this, it's going to get very, very crazy, and even more crazy than we actually thought, you know what I mean? If like all this money that we're, that even though with this $2 trillion stimulus package, if this doesn't like help out too much, it's gonna be like it's either gonna go good or it's gonna go bad. You know what I mean, Novin? And I mean it's just gonna be one of those things where we have to try to come together as community and as people, as a human race, and try to fight and stick together along this stuff rather than try to break each other down from like what's happened before is when all this stuff started happening, the robberies, the break-ins, the shootings, like not that long ago, I think on the news my grandfather saw that there was these group of kids, right, that basically started, were stealing stuff from cars or whatever, right? And the cops stopped them, told them, hey, you can't do that or whatever, started talking to them or whatever. And they ended up in turn started pulled a gun on him and started shooting, like basically telling him, hey, get out of here, this has nothing to do with you. And he pulled his gun out and was just like, you know what, okay then, and shot a few of them, like not critically shooting them but injured a few of them and stuff like that. And it was just crazy, you know what I mean, like how serious they were about like trying to shoot a cop without any regard, like that was fucking crazy, my grandparents were telling me about it and stuff like that. I'm just like, dude, that's getting to the point of where like where me and you were like thinking about what was gonna happen, you know what I mean, Ovid? And yeah. Oh yeah. Mm, true. Yeah. 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 True. True, dude. Yeah. True. True, man. That's what some people don't understand is that like if you have to use it, you're gonna have to use it. Like it's just it's getting to that point where like we have to basically watch what we're doing and see what's going on in everyday society right now and figure out what's the best possible thing to do or to try to stay safe in all this stuff that's going on. The best thing to do is stay home, rather than cause, other problems, other people problems and stuff like that. Try to stay home as best as you can so that way you don't get sick or you don't get somebody else sick that you care about and stuff like that. It's just it was very how I put it, like the way the news is talking about, like, okay, so did you see on the news what the one thing that Trump and them messed up on in this past week was talking about uh the drug stuff that they were this drug project that they were doing during this whole thing or whatever. Did you hear about that? Like, in my sense, I was just like, why are you talking about this? We don't need to talk about this. Like, this ain't something that's very important right now to talk about, In my point of view, like, it was just like at the same time, like, I kind of understand where other people might be coming from, like, drugs during this time might be one of those things where people are just, what they want or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, what do the people really want to hear? They don't want to hear about, okay, what are you doing on the drug situation? They want to know, what are you doing to help the people during this time of the virus going on? Like during this pandemic that's going on, what are you going to do to help us basically recover from it and move forward with it? Like, I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, like, from what I saw, I'm just like, okay, this is something that he should have never brought up. This is something that's gonna be like brought up in a lot of different questions, from news people that are already like, talking whatever about him or whatever. Like I said, it's just stupid, But at the same time, I kind of understand where certain people's heads are at, where his head was at the time or whatever. But kind of a misguided remark, just like, okay, now we're just gonna talk about drugs during this whole thing, and where people just want to know, what are you trying to do to help them. Um, I mean, what do you think about it, Noah? Yeah, true. Yeah, 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 true. Yeah, Yeah. 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 True. True. I get you, man. True. I mean, yep. I mean, like I said, it's crazy because I think I've don't necessarily I've thought about a lot of different scenarios, right? Like what would happen if this happened or if that happened. Like if my grandparents go, what's my second choice or whatever? What do I have to do to basically push forward and keep on going throughout? Even before this whole virus started. Like my grandparents are like in their 60s and 70s. Like and I mean, it's one of those things where like I have to basically whatever choices I end up making during this whole thing is basically not just for me but for them majority of the time. But with everything that's going on, our communities are kind of slow. Our communities are coming. Some of our communities are coming together. Some of them aren't. Some of them. It's just trying to help as many people as we can, even though with also trying to help ourselves, trying to make other people understand and aware of what's going on. That's the main reason of this podcast. It's to bring awareness of what's going on in society right now and bringing awareness of what's going on with the coronavirus. Try to be safe, try to be healthy. With that being said, if you need to exercise, exercise because, sitting down all the time, laying down all the time ain't always healthy and it can hurt you. Trust me. Been there, done that. Still need to, do everything that I can to make myself even healthy. So, I mean, like I said, it's basically trying to keep yourself healthy during this whole time and make sure that you have a good immune system and to basically fight back whatever may happen or if you may get it to basically keep you from, perishing within this time and stuff like that. With that being said, for me, what's been going on in during out this whole time that I've talked to my grandparents. My grandparents have talked to me, about everything that's been going on, explained everything that's going on. Like I have a niece. Hopefully, like I have a niece. She's doing good. She's barely a few months old. My sister, is taking good care of her and stuff like that. Like I said, that's one of my main things that are on my mind majority of the time. It's my friends, my family. Majority of the time, it's my niece more than anything because, like I said, I only spent a few days with her, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? Since the day that she was born. So that's one of the big things is trying to make sure, trying to okay, let's see how's my niece doing today. Like and every now and then talk to my sister when I can. Um, and like I said, it's trying during this time try to stay in touch, whether it's talking through the phone or whether it's talking through Skype, FaceTime, whatever you have, stay stay communicating with people because you never know what's going on with them and stuff like that. Like I said, even some of the people that that are, you know, eh, you may never know that they're a depressed person or whatever. And during this time, if you just randomly text hi or how they're doing, or call them up, or just stay in touch with your family. You never, you know what I mean? Like anything small little impact with anybody will help. Especially during this time since everybody's just at home, kind of like, okay, now what do we do now? Um, like I said, it's one of those things where you just have to just be careful on what you do, where you go, who you know what I mean? Like it's just crazy out here, and just try to be safe. With me, like I said, I was working. A lot of my friends, and including myself, are not working or not working enough. Because like I said, some of us do live paycheck to paycheck. Some of us, have a rough time, saving money or whatever. It's sometimes it is crazy, and during this time, it's even crazier for myself because, like I said, I work at J.C. Penney's. I've been there for maybe a couple years now, and I mean, with this whole stuff that's going on, I can't work. I'm trying to apply for certain different things to make sure that I can have some type of money rather than coming in, so I can, help out my grandparents as best as I can during this time. Um, but like I said, it's just trying to, uh, damn. Yeah, so I mean, it's like I said. So now we're getting into the topic of talking about how it's affected us and affected some people that we know and stuff like that. So, how's it affected you guys? Like, in any way, Noah and Novin? Has it like, how is this like pandemic or or the virus affected? Of what's going on? How has it affected y'all? Or is, what are y'all doing to you know protect yourselves from what's going on? Uh, if y'all want to talk about it. You still there, Noah? Let's see if Noah's still there. Hey, Noah, you still there? Noah. Oh, I guess he's not there. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. True. Yeah, Yeah, true. I get what you're saying, man. True. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, true. True. I mean, yeah, 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 damn, yeah, 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 Yeah. 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 Yeah, I get you. Yeah. 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 I get you, dude. I mean, that's crazy, man. Like I said, it's when because I know when you had told me, that you were getting married, you were gonna try to get married this year and stuff like that, and then, I think we were all like, okay, dude, let's, try to prepare for it, and then all this other stuff ended up hitting, and it was just like, fuck, I just out of nowhere. Yeah, 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 true. And it's one of those things, man. You just have to wait and see what happens, I guess. During this whole stuff. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Yep. Hey Noah, you there or no? I don't know. I don't even know anymore. Well, I guess so for me it has I think in a sense it's affected me a little bit, but not like too much because obviously, the main things for me is that like I'm not paying too many bills, I'm not paying for too much stuff, I'm not like, I don't have a girlfriend. So I'm not like, in that place where like I can't see her or whatever. So I mean, it hasn't affected me too much. But the main things that it has affected me from is just, not seeing certain family members on like a regular day basis like I used to, or not hanging out with like certain friends like I used to on like weekends or whatever. So I mean, that's one of the main things that it's done. But I mean, besides that, I mean, it's one of those things where I rely on money every single week. Like I live paycheck to paycheck pretty much. That's the way my stuff goes. Because I live with my grandparents. Obviously I don't spend too much, but my biggest hobby was, it still is, video games. And I mean, that's my biggest thing where I've learned, okay, I've tried to figure out, okay, what's the best thing I need to do to like save money during this time rather than spending anything. And since every freaking game is being, canceled, not too many new games are going to be coming out in the anyways. They shouldn't be coming out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this time where, like, they need to really put money into the people rather than trying to put money into their own pockets. But it is what it is. Certain stuff happens, with gaming communities and stuff like that. Um, I mean, it's just, if it wasn't for gaming, shit, man, I don't know what I'd be doing. Like, especially during this time, because it's just, one of the things, you want something to do, want an outlet to basically put your place at. Gaming is the right thing for you. I mean, during this time, gaming has really helped me a little bit. It's so I've always been a person that's always stayed in, played video games and stuff like that. So I mean, it's not really anything new to me. But at the same time, like, this virus stuff has like been one of the newest things to me because I'm not getting out too much. I'm not talking to too many friends unless they're video game, what I mean, like video game addicts like myself, Um, but my grandparents on the other hand, I try to talk to my grandparents every now and then, but at the same time, I still try to keep that social distance, a little bit, so that way, just in case, you know, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, I try to, one of the main things, I did talk to my grandfather, a few days ago, and had the biggest heart to heart with him about this whole situation that's going on, about me not having a job right now, not being able to work during all this, and why I don't decide to go look for another one while they're still applying and stuff like that. It's just for them, it's to basically try to keep them safe as best as I can. My grandfather's told me, don't worry about us and try to worry about yourself more than anything. And I mean, whatever happens to us, try to make sure that you have, you know, uh, a safe backup plan, everything like that, because you just never know what's going to happen. And I told him, I understand that. I've always been, it's not always been on my mind, but I mean, like I said, if something ever happened to y'all, that's some of the things that I'm always thinking about. It's on the back. It's there on a list in the back of my mind on what's my next steps after this. And I mean, if something happens to my grandparents, hopefully nothing happens to them during this whole crisis and stuff like that. But if anything did, it's just time. Okay, I need to get back out. I need to start doing this. I need to start doing that. Trying to get ready, trying to hammer down on certain things so that way, like, my grandmother, is doing okay, I'm doing okay, and nothing is gonna, you know what I mean? Like, and basically start being, the person I need to be to, if something happened to my grandfather and he's, because anything can happen with, especially during this time, anything can happen. And I mean, I'm a little prepared for it. Obviously, not 100% because I live with them on a daily basis and I see them all the time. And if something happened to them and one of them's gone, it's gonna be crazy, especially for me because I said I'm very close with them. Even though even though every now and then we may argue, we may, argue about certain things or whatever, have disagreements. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's some of the most important people that I care about besides, a lot of the other people that I talk to in my everyday like lifestyle. I mean, because I don't really talk to too many people in general. You know what I mean, Owen? So it's just like when I do talk to somebody and I, try to figure out what they're doing, what they're up to, or try to, communicate with certain people. Like I said, it's one of those things where, you know, majority of the time my grandparents are like the main ones. So I'm like, hey, how you doing? How was your day and stuff like that. So I mean, trying to make sure that I'm safe with also trying to make sure that they're safe. Try to stay healthy for myself, while also trying to stay healthy for my grandparents. So that way, they're not, you know, trying. You know what I mean? Like that way, nothing happens to me, and they don't have to like, you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's crazy, like I said, but at the same time, it's like, I don't have a job, but I'm doing everything I can to possibly stay healthy in this situation, stay positive in this situation because it's one of those things where like if you have a bad mind about everything, something is definitely going to happen without, even knowing it, like because like I said, there's a lot of different things going on. The main thing is just try to stay safe, try to stay healthy, try to stay positive because that's one of the main big things here is just trying to stay positive during all this and have the positive mindset. Like I said, just in case something does happen, you already know, okay, if this stuff does happen, if stuff does come worse, make sure you know what you need to do, what's your next plans, what's your next move. Like I said, is just make sure you have those listed just on the back, in your mind, back of your mind, and okay, I know what I need to do just in case something does happen, but it's not the main thing I'm thinking about. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's the things that I go through. Every single day is just trying to, focus on everything and basically put everything to the front of like, okay, I know what I need to do, and okay, what do I need to do to make sure that the people that I live with are okay. If you live with your parents, try to make sure that they're doing good. Stay talking to them, be interacting with them as best as you can. Because life is short, and you just never know when something is gonna happen. Like I said, it's life is crazy. You know, life is like it, it's like an old saying. Life is like a box of chocolate. Life is like a box of chocolates. You just never know what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? And I mean that's a Forrest Gump reference. If some people out there, best reference I can give you. But like I said, during all this stuff, it's just trying to stay safe. Because there is a lot of stuff going on. People still trying to scam other people during this stuff, which is very so try to stay careful of that. Try to be mindful of everything that's going on because there is some mean people out there that just want to do harm to you all, and try to take advantage of y'all during this whole crisis, and that's something that should not happen. Try to, oh yeah. And I mean, with everything that's going on, try to be mindful of the news, try to stay up to date with everything as best as you can because some stuff does come and you just don't know when it's gonna, you know what I mean? So try to stay up to date with certain things, even then if you live with your grandparents, or your parents or whoever you live with, ask them, okay, what's been going on in the news today, like what's going on with this whole virus stuff, what's going on with it, how can I, do certain things to prevent what's going on. Um, and I mean, it's always just try to stay one step ahead of it rather than being like 15 feet behind it. You know what I mean? And like I said, you just never know what's gonna happen. There is other stuff going on. Like I said, with everybody, doing their own charity streams and stuff like that. Like I said, it's should it be just like okay, some rich people doing some charity streams and stuff like that. Sometimes it's good, but they're asking for donations from other people that might not have the money, or like I said, it's not like they're asking people that don't have the money. It's just sometimes okay, if you can give anything, then give something. I mean, as long as it's going to the right place, because like I said, you just never, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. 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 Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's not gonna last that long. Oh yeah. 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 True. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 True, man. Like I said, I was looking at it. Don't get me wrong. He's doing something nice. And everything like that. I because I've looked into the YouTuber before. I've seen all his different amounts of charity streams that he's done before. So I mean, it's not like the first one he's ever doing. You know what I mean? Obviously, but like I said, it is what it is. Sometimes you just never know what's gonna happen. How it's gonna go. You know, it is a big thing sometimes. You know what I mean? Um, so, like I said, with all this stuff that's going on, the way everything is going on, it's affected certain people in different ways. Like, some people, you have the people that, I think in my personal opinion, a lot of retail places that sell nothing but clothes, sportswear and stuff like that really shouldn't be open. You know? Like that's something of that yeah, the essential stores that are actually selling, food, or they're selling medicine or they're selling toilet paper, tissues, like stuff like that, like really need to be open. That way we have, some type of food coming in while also trying to ration how much food they're selling so they can keep it for the next day, you know? And I mean, yeah, HEB started that, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and that's something that where it's just like okay, rationing it out. Make sure certain people like they already have like where oh you can only buy like a certain amount of items from each one. Everybody can only buy this or that. Like if you really look at it, okay, um, I can only buy like one like like where it says oh okay I can only buy maybe like three maybe four of whatever this one item is, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? And that's simple. You know what I mean? Like, and rationing it out is the best possible way for us to get, for everybody to get a piece of something that they need. That's very, very good and very rash. Like I said, it is one of those things where we just have to, figure out what's gonna happen, figure out what everything, like I said, hopefully, with all this stuff that's going on, hopefully, soon enough, it's just like one of those things that hopefully in the future, we, uh, you know, hopefully our governments end up having more, focusing on more viruses in the future, focusing on all that stuff that's going to happen, rather than focusing on stuff that we don't need to focus on, which is continuous war and fighting with each other, rather than trying to work with each other and be like, okay, we need to fight what we can't see rather than what we can. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's one of those things we just need to get out of war already and just fight with, you know, fight against the pandemics, fight against the viruses, fight against all these diseases and stuff that are harming us every single day, like cancer. Besides the corona that's going on right now. Besides that, like also try to work on everything else in the future too. You know what I mean? Um, like I said, it's crazy. It just had to happen during our time. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy that it even happened during my time. I never thought something like this was gonna happen. You know what I mean? It was just very, very crazy. Um, like I said, it's just trying to basically make everything safe as possible within everything that's going on. Try to stay safe out there, guys. I'm gonna say thank you, Novin, for coming on. Thanks for Noah coming on, even though he didn't really talk too much or whatever. Talked a little bit here and there. um, but but yeah, guys, thanks for coming to the stream. I'm gonna be doing setting up streams every single week on this channel. Every single week, you're gonna hopefully we're gonna have Angel in here next time to talk on a different subject if he comes in or whatever. Hopefully, every single week, be looking out for something. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Hit the notification bell so that way you're notified when I do live stream or upload regular videos, because majority of the time I'm going to be uploading my best gameplays to the channel rather than just, live streaming consistently. Um, this ain't my only game. This ain't my only gaming channel. I do have two different channels that I upload to. I kind of changed over to this one to make it a little bit better. So like I said, hopefully, this brings more awareness to everything that's going on. This is the main reason why I created, why I wanted to do this type of podcast for the first one, to bring awareness to what's going on right now and what we can handle. And, that way everybody knows what to do, how to take care of themselves. Like I said, just make sure a lot of stuff that's going on is don't touch your face, wash your hands consistently, make sure you're have good hygiene and stuff like that, and make sure that you're taking your care of yourself with also taking care of the people that are around you, and trying to be extra cautious of everything that's going on. I said hopefully everybody's being safe in this time, and like always, guys, thanks for coming to the podcast, and I'll talk to you guys later.